Hello, welcome back to City Planner Plays, where we are taking part in the 5 Builders, 1 City collaboration. And right now, we are looking at these old power plants. Now, in the previous episode, I decommissioned these plants with the idea that maybe in the future we would use these. But why? So, this is a highly desirable piece of land. So it is called Power Plant. It's the power plant. But we're going to change things. So best laid plans, they'll change every now and then. And maybe this land becomes too valuable to become a power plant. In fact, maybe this land is so valuable that it could become a TOD. So we're going to get rid of these power plants and reimagine this area, because I think that we can do better. So we'll get this connected across. We are going to need to do something with our garbage, but in the future we're going to do something here. And I see we have some train track stuff happening here. Maybe not a concern now, but it might be in the future. It's fine. So today we are going to develop a residential neighborhood in this particular area, a nature reserve, hiking park sort of thing here, and more residential in this area. So we're redeveloping our first piece of land and opening up this greenfield site for some more development. And it's going to support the city as a whole and bring this all together. And I think that's going to be a good thing. I also want to add a couple of fields over here, continue to think about this farm. And in fact, I think that's where we're going to begin, is expanding the farm just a little bit. So I'm going to bring this down. Again, 18 tiles was the magic number to make this perfect in terms of being able to completely fill this in with development, farm development. So let's expand our farm out. Ooh, nope, wrong. We'll expand our farm out just a little ways, and let's get some more fields over here. This time, why don't we have some fruit fields? I'm gonna leave a gap in there, and that will be, oh, look at that. We've unlocked, we've leveled up. We have a lemonade factory, milking parlor, medium crop field, medium fruit field. We're gonna still stick with these small ones. I like them. The medium fields have these little tiny, I guess they have barns incorporated into them. So I feel like they look a little weird, and I don't love that about them. So we're going to avoid using those. So we are going to bring this up here, and we're going to kind of do the same thing we did before. We'll have another one of the workers' barracks. And we have no money, so we won't have another one of the workers' barracks. We'll speed things up a little bit so we get some more money. So is it reasonable to have these fruit fields here? Maybe. These would probably be more crop fields, but I want to mix it up. I want to vary it up. I like the way it looks. I think it's neat, and it's a game. So I'll have some fun with it. So I do think that we could have another roundabout connection here. I think that would be totally fine and logical. So we'll make that connection and make this not crazy. Use a bit of node controller to clean this all up. Much better. I like that. That is much better. So now we have this nice area over here where we could go and add in our workers' barracks and eventually a couple of silos. We're gonna need those. This again will produce a bunch of pears. What else can we produce? Apples. We'll have some apples too. In fact, we'll have mostly apples. We're not going to do oranges because that makes no sense. We could do a greenhouse if we wanted to. That's actually kind of a cool look. I kind of like that. So we might go with just one greenhouse in the corner. It's kind of near our built-up area, so I think it fits. I think it fits well. And let's get our silos in here, or let's see if we can fit. Maybe we could fit up a small barn. We would need to reorient the road or have this loading on Price Street, which I don't love. That said, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's more of a money concern right now. This is a local road. It's functioning as a local road. I need to let it be a local road and not get overly crazy. Speed this up for a minute and get some money. And we have leveled up while we're waiting. So we get a clothing factory, farm maintenance building, large barn, and a slaughterhouse. So all valuable buildings, but I still really want this small barn. That's what I care about. And that's what we're gonna get. So we probably should add a farm maintenance building at some point. I think that I'm going to not do that though. Not worry about that. We'll leave that to someone else. What I am going to worry about is our neighborhood. And at this point, I'm thinking, I know that this road is going to function as an arterial or a collector, and I need to really take that traffic and make it feel a little less industrial. Hide it behind some trees, something. So this new neighborhood, we are really going to focus on our topography and let nature guide our decision making. So I still want to think about that grid that we had, but we're not going to go down the ridge. And we're going to mirror what we did on the other side. And we'll kind of cul-de-sac up here. That is totally fine. Over here, we're going to do the same thing. What I do think I want to change, I want to line this up with this road, and let's follow this topographic line, and we'll let that be our guide. So I know that this is going to be a transit-oriented development, and as a result, I want to think about that rail line. We have this existing road, and I think in reality that would certainly be maintained. Kind of ugly, but I think we're going to run this up. This will be our one connection point into this neighborhood up here. So this is the general layout of our neighborhood. We have used, as best we could anyway, the existing landscape and roadway network to kind of guide our decision making. So we've respected this topography right here. It's not extreme, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't think about it. So I would think that if you're going to do anything here, you might have another block up, but work with your topography. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. So we're not going to. And this gives us an opportunity to change up our roadway network a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting, if interesting is what you're going for. So, which, by golly, some people do. Now that is not something I think you'd ever hear a developer say, or a planner. We need to make sure the roadway network stays interesting, keeps people engaged. All right, so this is what we're working with in this area. We're gonna have a train station here at some point, and that is going to be kind of how we think about orienting this neighborhood. And I think it's gonna work out really nicely. So we do have these roads over here that I left space for, and we might try to do something with those as well. So I think that we could bring this up a little bit. Oh, that's further than I wanted to go. I want to line it up with the buildings, and then we'll figure out where to go. And I think what we're going to figure out is just, we want a deeply connected roadway network if at all possible. This will be another place where those two roadway networks can interface a bit. And then through here, I think that because of the topography, maybe we'll just have some pedestrian connections through there. You can see it when we look at the topography. It's 10 meters. We could certainly develop this. It would be lumpy and bumpy and a little weird. But it's certainly doable, and there are lots of cities that would do it. But I think that in a city this size, unless it was being forced, there would be no reason to spend that kind of money to develop this land, because there's plenty of developable land, and land is inexpensive here. So why would you go for the expensive option? Okay, so nice connection there. I'm trying to think about where people would want to walk. Where would a desired path be if there were one? Because that's eventually what you would see kind of happen through here. And desire paths are kind of when you see those worn places in the grass where people have clearly been walking, but there's no paved area. So planners love looking at those because that really indicates to us where we need to make sure that facilities are added. So wonderful for us. And this isn't going to be a formal park. It's just going to be kind of a nice amenity, a nice neighborhood amenity. We'll add some trees back here. And this will be very similar to what we do in the nature park when we build that. But one of the reasons I wanted to have this here is I want to think about that pedestrian connection across the train tracks. Because we already see the desire for people to get across the train tracks and get across this to this side of the city. So we're going to fulfill that need. And so one of the things that I think is interesting about this map that is fairly unreasonable is you have all of these elevated highways in a place that has very little development. But if we have them, we're going to take advantage of them and run paths underneath them. So we have these very expensive highways that would only make sense in a highly urbanized environment, but they're here. So it's fine. We're going to work with them. And I do like them. I'm just razzing the person who created it, or just razzing in general. There we go. And we already have people using this. That is wild. Even though there's nothing to walk through. It's an empty neighborhood. People are still like, this is perfect. I can't wait to get through here. So clearly it was a need. We're not even done yet. We've got more to do. So we are really going into the master planning of this neighborhood in a significant way. So I know that we're going to have a train track here, and as a result of that, we're going to want to be a little bit more careful with our uses here. Probably have our commercial uses buffering our residential uses. This could be basically all residential, but I want some commercial here buffering from those train tracks. So I'm noticing that our landfill is full. We've got some issues with trash now. So let's take a quick break. I think that we need an incineration plant, much higher capacity, and that's what we're going to need. I don't love this, but we need this. So if this incineration plant went in, you can bet your bottom that as the planner, I am saying that is a very, very harsh use. It's ugly. It's got smokestacks. We want that completely buffered from the outside world. And the railroad's yelling at me. They're saying, you can't get that many trees that close to our railroad tracks. And I'm saying it's absolutely mandatory. We want this to feel like it's a place that no one knows about. And now that we have that, we're going to empty these. We're going to have some garbage problems most likely for just a little while. But it's okay. It's worth it in the end to eliminate these landfills. Now, I wish that I could turn these landfills into parks. That would be, kind of it either become a capped mound that's grassy or a park, but we'll deal with what it gives us, which is empty land, which I guess is really what everyone would like to see happen with a landfill anyway. So kind of just model swath zone this. There we go. Not overly concerned. Don't want to get overly ginger about the zoning here. It's not that big of a deal. I know that residential is what I desire in this area. And we're still low density. I haven't done anything with high density zoning. And truthfully, I intend not to touch it. I'm going to leave that to the next builder, which I think is Overcharged Egg. I think Egg's coming next. So Egg can deal with all of that. I will deal with all of this. So that'll work. So 8,000 is the goal to be able to unlock the train station. We're not going to hit that goal if we don't have water in this neighborhood, though. Okay, we've got our neighborhood filled in, and we are roughly 30 citizens away from being able to place our train station. Very excited about that. So as soon as we can do it, we're going to do it. We're going to take a look at what we can do and get this rolling. And there we go. We get monorail. We get cable cars. We get train tracks. We get high-tech housing. We get level 6 unique buildings. High-rise band. Cargo train terminal, multi-flat platform train station. Lots of good stuff. And some of these new assets that I don't even know what to do with at this point, but we might take a look and see if we can incorporate them in. Plus hydroelectric power, which I don't know if that, there's maybe some places, maybe not, that we could do it in this map. But that is not what I'm thinking about right now. I want to think about some of these train stations. So we'll narrow it down to train stations. And what do we have? Oh, look at this. This might be the absolute perfect fit for this area. Yeah, I love this. This is perfect. So we got some parking here. So this is still not very dense. So you would assume that if you were leaving town, you might drive over to this place, park here, and head out of town. That's wonderful. So the one unfortunate thing, so I want to look at the directionality. I don't know how we get over here. Short of having some weird loop that I'm not willing to do. I get to move this down one more. Maybe we could cross. I don't know if that's kosher. I'm gonna have to wait to see if I get slapped down by by one of the other builders. That said, it doesn't actually go out anywhere here. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I moved the station, and I'm gonna move it back. So, what a great use. No, I'm not gonna move it back. I don't have enough money for that. So, now I do. So that's a better location for it in my mind. I am gonna leave the back half of this connected and the front half disconnected. If someone else wants to make that connection in the future, they can, or I guess I don't know how to use this asset yet, so maybe I can't. Yeah, it looks like it's, all right, interesting. We got these in the North American Rails pack. Well, they don't seem to meld all that well with the asset here, so I think I might use the vanilla track because it looks like it blends in a little bit better, and then at least we have our connection here. So this is just an inner city train at this point, and that is totally fine. We'll add some more commercial along here. This will be a bit of a main street. That works really nicely. So while this is filling in, because it will, let's see, let's get rid of this. Perfect. We're going to fill in some landscaping here soon, but I want to think a little bit about this park area. So this is not going to be a significant park. It's not going to be a main park, but it will be our first city park, and that's going to be exciting. So we will circle this park area, and we will think about that in just a moment. Oh, fires. Well, at least we have we're having trash problems, and that's because of what I've done over here. Before I forget, I am going to go through here and change the roads up to the railroad track. That's kind of the transition zone. We'll slow this down a little bit. So I want to develop a little bit along the park here. I want to look at our topography. Yeah, there's not much we can do. Yeah, truthfully, I might just have some residential along the outside of the park and then have a way in and a way out. How are we doing here? Very full. Huh. So we're going to stop emptying. We'll do one at a time. Hopefully get this thing working again because we're overloading it. So hopefully the next builder understands what I was gearing at, but I'm killing the city over here and over here. And in fact, it's making me think that maybe I need to add another incineration plant to be able to handle all of this. And I still have the budget cranked. So we've got some things going on. Let's see how this looks. Look at all these passengers we're getting in. 20. Good enough, but our ped path over here is wild. We're still getting pedestrian traffic over here. Some, but not like we were before. Our development did occur, so that's good. And we got trash everywhere, so that's a thing. So, all right, back to our nature preserve. Need a main gate. We'll put that, let's put the main gate in the neighborhood. We'll use a little bit of eminent domain, put it right at the edge of this neighborhood right here. Unfortunately, it didn't take Dean Grounds, it said Broad Park. That's what we're doing. That's okay. And we will clean that up in a little bit. For the time being, I just want to get this side gate in here. Truthfully, I'm regretting the gate that I used over here. I used the large gate and it's kind of out of place. So we're going to use that small gate. Much more rational in this particular location in my mind. So I want to fence this area in. So that's, I think, where we're going to start. Alright, so we've got this fenced in, and now I think we have kind of a logical layout for this area. Oh, we've got it fenced in. You can't actually even get into the park. It's that secure. So, back up a little bit, take a breather, and try to get this a little more rational. So, now that we have that, I want to think about development in this area. This would be highly valuable and coveted land. It's just impossible to get around that. So even though we're developing along a future collector, clearly people are going to want to live here. I'd want to live here. just point blank. Why wouldn't you want to live this close to a nature preserve? So let's develop along here. We will also leave some larger lots. And we'll bring utilities around here as well. And now we need to think about our trail network through here. Again, we're going to use our topography. I think we want to not have lights. This is a residential neighborhood, and that should be something that we are contemplating as we are thinking about our trail connections, because the last thing you'd want would be bright lights glaring into people's living rooms. So that would be a concern in an area like this, and people would just want to make sure that a nature preserve actually preserves nature. So we'll kind of switch back over here, bring it up the hill, and this might be just a kind of a path with a couple of loops, maybe an overlook. Totally fine. It took me out of my view. I don't know why it did that. But again, I want to let the terrain and topography be my guide for the trails. We will have a quick connection if someone wanted to, I guess, just get out of the park quickly. They could certainly do that. And then I think we're going to have one more connection over here. We're trying not to elevate too quickly. So our contours are nice and smooth for the most part, even though we've got that 3-meter dip that I can't stand. So we'll go into force respect the topography mode, and that's sloping to objects, or shoot, to terrain height. That is what I meant to say. There we go. Much better. Nice connections through here. So what do we do with this? I guess we could hide in the trees here, or we try to add a couple of park amenities. So we don't have a lot, and I don't think this is going to be a camping area. This is going to be a place where people could hang out a little more than anything else. So we might dip into some of the other packs and take a look at what we have available. Nothing. So maybe we will have some campsites. I was really hoping to have more scenic overlooks and things like that, but that's okay. This would be an interesting place to camp. So you could do that. And we do have enough entertainment to reach the next level. I don't think this park is worth very much. We'll take this down. We'll lose some money. That's okay. Parks are not a money-making endeavor, and anytime someone thinks that they are, a little piece of me dies. So it's something I will sometimes hear on certain city infrastructure. Why doesn't X, Y, and Z make money? Well, your road doesn't make money, but we still have it. Not directly anyway. So why would we expect a park to make money, a bus to make money, different things? We need to accept that certain types of infrastructure tangentially makes money, and quality of life matters more than money. So, money's important. Don't get me wrong. This park would cost a lot to build, but I would care much more about the quality of life benefits that this park would provide. So I want this to feel like a walk through the forest, but that's because I love landscaping, and maybe to a fault. So that area feels so filled in now, and then we have these other areas that just feel very empty. So we are going to fill it in with some landscaping and make it feel like a real place. Because ultimately, I think that that's one of the things landscaping does do in the game, is make a place come to life. Kind of just wanting to, while we have these landfills here, and it's going to be a little while, we can do our best to hide one of them. I mean, if you were sitting at Penny's, the last thing you want while you're eating your diner pancakes is to look at the dump behind you. So the other thing is this landscaping helps hide the fact that the irregularly shaped parcels kind of are a little bit weird to deal with in the game. Okay, so I'm liking the way this is filling in. What I'm not liking is what's happening with the garbage. It's making me very uncomfortable. We have a lot going on. And we are adding some flammability to the city at the same time that garbage is piling up. So I'm hoping this doesn't become an issue, but it could. So we'll have to see. So we are getting some more industrial demand, and I think that we are going to remedy this demand by building out a little bit of Zardas's area while we wait for the garbage to empty. I guess it's not Zardas's area anymore. This is all of our area. So I will build in the waterfront a little bit. And look at all of that beautiful garbage pile up everywhere. Got some noise problems even with all the trees. They're still sick and sad. Now, one thing I haven't really checked on a ton, let's see. So our capacity for schools is good. We added no parks over here. There would be value in probably making this a city park just for the land value's sake. I wonder. Let's just see what it does. So it looks like everyone's fairly uncovered here. Just go through here. Sycamore Garden. All I had to do, seriously? Wow. Okay, so I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to add a city park gate. That gives us plazas and a bunch of other stuff. And then I'm going to connect this up to that trail we had before. I'll take Sycamore Garden, and I will turn it down to nothing, and I'll add maybe an amenity or two. Nothing big. And let's see what this does for the houses around here. So most of this stuff is pretty hokey in my opinion, at least for a small park. Info booth. We've got this park plaza, but this is not flat land, so that's not going to work. So we might just have a cafe, and that's about it. Kind of like a hidden gem back here. Everyone's favorite coffee shop, hidden on a walking path. No one's going to it either. So apparently it's not everyone's favorite, just it's a coffee shop. Let's see what that does. We do not have enough entertainment to level up. We need to do something else in here. So if we can, I'll see if I can make this little plaza look somewhat believable, reasonable. Okay, that looks a little bit better in my mind. And I think that this means we have the we are just a little bit low on entertainment to get to the next level. We'll add this chessboard and a bench, and that will leave us 6 short. Okay, so maybe a trash bin and a recycling can. Too short. And a lamppost. All right, we are there. We can get to level 2. We need more visitors. No one's going through that main gate, and you know what? I don't blame them. This is a good spot to go, so why don't we monopolize that? Take that over. Delete this. Ooh, I can't place it anywhere. Okay, I'm going to use move it to make it fit because it doesn't like the area that everyone wants to walk for some bizarre reason. And then we will kind of force this thing through. I don't know why it's doing this. It doesn't want it to be on the ground. I can't even use move it to make it work, which is unfortunate. Let's see, I'll give it one more shot. Okay, I don't know what the deal is here, so I think that we're just going to accept what the park wants is park paths and upgrade accordingly. So the problem is these are leveling, so as a result you end up needing to do a little bit more work to make it work. But I think it looks very good as a result. The last place I kind of want to take a look at is right here. We have this ugly angle. There we go. Look at that. Much nicer. Still a free park. Oh, we've got one spot right here too. I want to clean up with move it. And then we'll relocate this onto the path. We're moving now. Our park's going to level up because now we have tons of visitors. Everyone's going through that gate. Now we're in a good spot. Now we're in a wonderful spot. We did kind of get a cliff here. I think that we could mask that cliff a little bit with some landscaping. No. No, we're going to do this right. I don't know that we can actually. So we might... Yeah, we're going to have to do a mixture of landscaping and a bit of terraforming, but I think we'll make it work. Very good. So I'm really... Oh, we lost our entertainment. So we're not gonna... I just need to give in. Do a couple of things. We'll add a couple of benches. So this sign is perfect here. So many different directions. Even though everyone's only going one. So that works out okay. Light right here. That should be enough. I just want to make sure that we are in a spot where this could level up someday, and it can. It doesn't have to be great. Just has to work. This one too. We're in a spot where it could level up. It's fine. We do want to set some policies in here because I do not want fireworks. We don't want celebration. Night tours, that'd be cool. And recycled garbage also seems like a good idea. Fine for fireworks. We're good. We got 2 parks and a new neighborhood and a water shortage over here. Great. We have another water shortage. Why don't we also add another water tower in this area? Not an unreasonable spot in my mind. There we go. So the other problem is we have a sewage treatment problem. So it looks like Zardes added a couple of sewage treatment plants. We could probably go for a larger one at this point if we wanted to. Might just slide that over here. Someday I hope someone consolidates these, but for the time being, we will at least be covered. We're making some money. We're doing all right. We're emptying our trash. We're okay. The city's all right. The city's all right. People aren't dying because of the sickness that I could have left them with. So, although I'm leaving lots of fire, this just kills me. I can't leave it like this. I can't leave it like this. So I had the budget cranked. So let's look at our policies. Turn on recycling, which will slightly reduce garbage accumulation, which at this point would be helpful. And the other thing we could think about, recycle plastic, increase the efficiency of our 2 recycling centers. So hopefully that can help. Now when we speed things up, hopefully let's see if we can see some of this trash get picked up. Okay, so you start to see some things slowly improving, but we certainly have some health problems now. I mean, if you were living in a mound of garbage, you probably wouldn't be a super healthy person either, which is kind of the issue that we're having throughout the city. Totally fine. We will get over it. We'll move past it. We can overcome this issue. But for the time being, I think that we're just going to need to deal with it. It'll get better. I could pause this temporarily. Let things get picked up. But yeah, that's going to take some time. So we're just going to leave it and leave this for overcharged eggs. So interestingly, he won't be able to see this episode likely before he's recording. So he's just going to come in here and there's just going to be a ton of trash. So I'm very sorry, Egg. I did not mean to leave you with sickness and garbage, but that is what I am leaving you with. Garbage everywhere. Sick people everywhere. Really cute little houses on these alleys, though. I like it. So the city is growing. The city is getting bigger. I think I've about doubled it. Certainly a different grid than Zardes had over here, but I like it. I really like the differences. We certainly have been developing different types of areas, and I enjoy that. So I think I'm going to leave it here. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this build. I hope you enjoyed my round. If you did, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to the other builders, and I can't wait for my next round. Looking forward to watching everyone else, though. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. They help me make this content. They help me make the channel, and I appreciate them. And I want to thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Take care, and join me for a brief city tour. Bye.